All right, computers 7. Here is our Gmail toolbar notes. It says test at the top, it really means notes. We're gonna use it in that way. So this is to introduce our Google Gmail unit, in which we will be working with Gmail a little bit. I think we only have like 2 projects in this unit, but I wanted to get to a little bit of Gmail things, how to use Gmail, what each of those buttons means, because sometimes people go through their whole lives doing Gmail and don't even know what this means or something like that. So we're going to learn what all those buttons mean for the future. I think this is a really nice and applicable lesson for us as we are going forward into life. So I'll go ahead and read off each of the following words. What you're going to want to do is have this opened as a document. It's linked in the assignment. So go ahead and make a copy of this, and then you're going to be typing in each of these blanks just like you normally do in order to fill in your notes. Make sure you submit them as soon as this video is over and you're done. The thing you're going to do after this is the Google Gmail letter to future me. Make sure you do both parts and submit that. If you have any questions, you can ask Mr. G. Otherwise, email me if he can't answer or something like that. Let's go ahead and get started then. A, it just says to. Also, I'm going to write in the box to. That's just who you're writing the email to. Often this will now with Gmail let you use autofill. So if you just start typing in my name, Ethan, it'll give you the whole thing for my email if you're trying to email me. The next one, B, something you might not know, is called carbon copy. Carbon copy. A carbon copy, how they used to do documents, if they were trying to sign and have a copy of documents, is they would have the regular document, and then below that or above, I'm a little bit young for this, but either below that or above, they would have, I think it'd be below, they'd have another sheet, so another sheet of paper right below that, and that was made of like carbon paper. Basically, when you press down to write something on this page, it would copy onto the bottom paper just in a light way. So that would be the carbon copy. So what that means in our email sense is that when you're carbon copying someone onto an email, that means they would also receive it. So they're not the person that's wanting to necessarily get the email as the subject or as the person that you're sending it to, but somebody that should know about it. So let's say I'm sending an email to you about how great you did in class. I might carbon copy your parents and Mr. Geidel just to let them know how great you did in class and how great of a project you did or something like that. So I might carbon copy your parents and Mr. Geidel so they can also see that great email and that great job you did that I'm sharing in the email. That might be a carbon copy. A blind carbon copy, it goes on C here, blind carbon copy. Blind carbon copy is, let's say I sent home a project, that you did great on a project. This is to you, and then maybe this one's your parents. Oops, I put the A first. Maybe this one's your parents. So in this one, you who gets the email wouldn't be able to see that your parents also got the email. So that's blind, meaning the to person is not going to know that also some other person got it. So that's a blind carbon copy. You might use that when you're trying to share something privately, or you might not want the person that you're sending it to know what you're sending. That's a blind carbon copy. D is the subject. That's just the title of like what's the message about. E is the message body. That's where you're just going to type in the message itself. So like, dear Mr. P, I'm going to be gone next Tuesday. I'm going to miss this quiz. I'd like to take it on Thursday, something like that. That would be a message you might write to me. On F, that's that undo button. We're pretty familiar with that by now with the Google suite of products using Sheets, Docs, and Slides. That's undo. G is redo. So again, if you want to redo, you accidentally deleted something and you want to actually retype that quickly, you don't have to retype it all. You can just click the redo button. H is going to be your font, just changing the font of the font of your email. Sans serif is your default font, but other people might use a cursive looking font for their signature or something like that, like we'll take a look at in a little bit. That's going to be font size. It's a little different. Usually it has a number, like a box for the number, and then a plus and a minus. But since it's Gmail, they don't have room for all that. They just want the very basic things, not necessarily good like word processing. So we're just going to have font size there. So that little drop down will give you font size. Letter J is boldness. If you want to really highlight something that you're trying to tell your audience about, that would be boldness. K is italics in the same way if you're trying to bring attention to some idea or some word or some name, that's italics. L is underline. Again, if you're trying to bring attention to something or highlight something. M is text color. That's going to change the actual color of the text. So if I change my text color to blue and I write text color, that's a different text color, right? The reason I'm saying that so specifically is because if you're highlighting something, so let's say I took that text color and I instead highlighted it in a blue, that's the highlight that's different than text color, right? Text color is the actual color of the text. N is alignment, right? Your options for alignment are going to be center align, that's the one that looks like this. Everything's all in the center. Left justify, which is where everything's kind of on the left side, and then right justify, and that's where everything is trying to kind of smush to the right side. Those are your options for alignment, like where the text is sitting. O is going to be your numbered list. So I might use this if I was telling Mr. G about, here are the 3 things I needed to remind you about since you're subbing for me. I would use that numbered list. A bulleted list, that is a list where we don't really care as much about the order. So if I was just naming all of my students, I would use a bulleted list because I love all of you equally. Q is quote. Q is quote. Q is quote, and quote is to just add those quotations to my email. Okay, so Q is going to be quote. That one isn't necessarily used as much. It sort of adds a sort of indentation and a light bar. We won't use that one very much, but just so you know, that is quote. The next one, R, that's your send button. That's your send button. R is your send button. That little drop down right here, that's your more send options button. That one's really useful if I'm trying to send, schedule send something. So let's say I wanted to send Mr. G an email, but I didn't want it to send until the morning of him subbing for me. I would send that because I don't want to clog up his inbox. I want it to be at the top of his inbox on the day in which it's going to be important for him. So send, and then you got that schedule send. Schedule send. Just like you might schedule a text. You can do that. I should put text in. I should have said schedule send. There we go. S. That is formatting options. So you're going to format your text a little bit. That's what that's for. Formatting options. T is attach a file or link. It just shows, it's usually like maybe the link button, but that's going to be attach a file for us. U is going to be link, excuse me. Attach file for T. U is link, insert link. Attaching a file, like you might want to attach your homework if you were absent and you need to send it to me, or you inserting that link to a website or something like that would be that one. V is insert emoji. That's a fun one. If you want to really share with your grandma your excitement about going to her house and you're emailing her about it, you might insert an emoji. W is insert drive file. Insert drive file. So when I insert a drive file, it's going to just pop open a dialog box with Google Drive, and I'm going to be able to insert whatever file I would like right from Google Drive, so I don't have to download it and then upload it onto email. Really slick, really easy. That's why Gmail is helpful sometimes. X is going to be insert photo. Insert photo. Excuse me, I gotta sneeze. That's probably going to sound strange on the recording. That's okay. Insert photo. pretty self-explanatory. Why is confidential mode? Okay. Why is confidential mode? Why isn't used a ton either? Just makes your emails a little bit more confidential. And yeah, we can probably move on from that. What's Z? What is Z? Maybe look at insert signature. There we go. So this one I don't use a ton because my signature is already on my email. So if I make an email, my signature is already pasted right at the bottom, and that's a setting I added on Google Gmail to add my signature right at the bottom on every reply and every new email. We're actually going to make signatures as one of our projects for Gmail, the Gmail unit, which I'm pretty excited about. I think the students last quarter thought that was pretty fun. And AA is discard draft. Discard draft. So you can do that if you want to get rid of your draft. If you just click the X out of this, this is going to save the draft. Okay, because Google wants to make sure that you don't accidentally delete something you just spent time writing. So this is just going to save the draft. Save draft. But if you click this one, it's going to discard it entirely. So that means I don't want this draft anymore. Make it go away. Okay. So if you click Save Draft, you would find that in your drafts on the left side of your email. Let me look where it is. It's right below Sent and above that less or more drop down. It's right below Sent. So if you look at your left side of your Gmail, it should say Inbox, then Starred, then Snoozed, Sent, and then Drafts. So drafts are just, like a rough draft in English, something you're writing but not complete with yet. Okay, confidential mode. To come back to that one will help you protect your sensitive information by only letting you send to certain email addresses that are maybe within your organization or something like that. And then also doesn't let you copy certain parts of the message if you send it to somebody, or it also will let you set an expiration date so the message will auto-delete after 2 days so the person can't keep the email forever. You can also make it so that you have to add a passcode to the email, so they have to enter a passcode before they can even read the email. It's a whole thing. I don't really ever use confidential mode, but you might if you were working maybe for a company which wants to keep things confidential. I'm going to go ahead and end the video there then. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Monday.